Second half, and immediately rang the changes. I know this is what many liked. Bentancur, Højbjerg coming on to replace Sarr, Basuma. And we got the perfect start to that second half, TJ. Oh, Mickey, what a strike from the Dutchman. Look, Spurs working another short corner at a time. Son teeing Mickey up, who blasted it home for his first goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And the biggest compliment I can pay Mickey van der Ven is, you know, if that was Son scoring that, we'd be salivating at it. What an amazing effort. What a rocket. What a finish. And what a time in the game to get it, TJ, right?
Yes, an emphatic finish from our Flying Dutchman. I mean, I was talking to a bunch of my friends back home, you know, during the game, as we all do. I'm sure we've all got, you know, endless WhatsApp lists about Tottenham. And I was saying, you know, I'm back on the show today. And they're like, great, you know, we'll watch and we'll listen. And I said, you know, again, I'm going to be having this conversation that I think we did this last time. Ashley, maybe remind me if you remember. But I know I say it pretty much every episode that Tottenham's progression, a big part of that is keeping Mickey van der Ven. I mean, I doubt I'm just trying to think of another player in the league right now that other teams will be talking about. You know what I mean? Like, who would that be? Like, who's absolutely playing out of their skin right now? I mean, listen, you know, players, so those perennial players like Rodri or KDB or, you know, Salah or, you know, whatever. But really, could anyone suggest a player in the league that other teams, and I'm talking about teams abroad as well, and I'm talking about, you know, Madrid's and, you know, by like huge clubs are saying, is there a better centre-back than that young lad who's playing at Tottenham right now? He just seems to have it all.
Forgive me, TJ. You have Gooners in here, 10 of you, 11 of them. But I totally agree with you, my man. What you're going to say about Mickey, I know what's going to come out your mouth, and I'm going to agree with you on it.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an absolutely exceptional player, and he's so young as well. And so he seems to have it all. When that decision making comes, you know, when he, you know, Marlon was talking about, you know, bless, like, you know, Vertonghen and Taper, like, you know, when that Sunny video came out and I saw, you know, I'm looking at Jan Vertonghen, like making these, my goodness, you know, your heart just thinks, oh, wow, you know, that 2016, 2017, that, you know, around then, what a team we were. And so I just think that Mickey van der Ven, keeping him is going to be absolutely pivotal, whatever it is that he wants. And I know he's happy at the club and all that kind of thing, but he's one of those ones that I'm looking at, you know, like a perennial, you know, like when Berber was at the club and like, you know, Teddy Sheringham and, you know, Gareth Bale, like players like
absolute
Rhodes, Modric. And you're thinking, you're a nice young man, you're enjoying yourself at Tottenham, you know, we're a family club and all that kind of thing. But soon you're going to have to give them a medal and have them walk up the stairs and hold something on high and in order to satisfy them, because what a player he is. One of the greatest acquisitions that we have accomplished in a very, very long time. And for the price, I would say one of the best acquisitions in the Premier League ever.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, TJ. You know, the guy, when you look at him play and his consistency, I mean, the biggest comment I can give him is that Spurs look a totally, in my opinion, different team and can't play the same way without Mickey van der Ven. And that's the biggest compliment I can pay him, Ash, coming over to you, because, you know, with the way Spurs play and with Mickey in the team, that allows them to push up really arguably 10, 15 yards higher than that would be able to really do. And that's despite having Dragoshin, Romero there. You know, I know they've got high hopes for Ashley Phillips, of course, as well, who's doing great. But the reality is that Mickey van der Ven, as, you know, as TJ's alluded to it there for me, he's what I call a transformative signing and defender. And the hardest task will be of trying to find someone that is alike to him or as good as him. That is how good I think he is. And after the game, like he said, for him, it was a nice evening. I think it was a really important game for us, for a huge 3 points. I saw Sonny get the ball if he passed it to me, and I would just bang it. It was unbelievable. It was my first goal in the stadium. I'll never forget it. It's an important game, and we have to build upon it. And I just wonder, Ash, the timing of that goal, so important, right? Early in the second half, great for momentum.
Yeah. I remember when he made that first challenge. I think it was Callum Hudson-Odoi. It was a ball over the top. He sprints back, he does a recovery run, and then he headers it down and he plays it coolly.
The whole crowd went crazy. It was mad. Yeah, it was wicked.
Round of applause. My guy. That's when I realized, I was like, holy smokes, Batman.
Yeah.
I think we're onto a winner here. Like, it was that much of a like Blue Peter badge moment. Do you know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, this guy is incredible. He's just something different. And I think the rest of the stadium appreciated that. Do you know what I mean? That was a real moment.
We all know it. We all know it, man. The whole stadium went crazy just because he ran 30 yards and just smoked Callum Hudson-Odoi. It was amazing, man.
That was the threat. Let's be real, broskies, man. Them that was the threat. You know, we were looking at the wingers and we're like, "Rod, they've got mad pace. They could." Then the Ven came along. He said, "Brother, calm down, stay calm, my guy." So coming back to the goal, I thought Johnson could have smashed it himself, but because he's not really left-footed, he hesitates, passes the buck to Son, and as I said before, it gets underneath Son's feet. But then I like the way when he passes it to Mickey van der Ven, he straightens the ball up. He straightens it up before he hits it. And then he just laces it. He just smashes it right into the top corner. Like the keeper had no chance. So they were saying like, oh, he's not sighted. The keeper wasn't sighted. But that didn't matter because the ferocity, the way he levered it right into the top corner, even if the keeper had full sight of that goal, there was no chance he would save it. It would go through his hands, literally. It was like one of those old school, you know, the Shaolin soccer. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It was like one of those shots where there's a trail of fire behind his boot after he finishes it, and the whole crowd erupted. And you're right, the timing was impeccable because we needed that something from somewhere. Because as I said before, we were like, and even in the game before, in the West Ham game, we were trying to find a perfect angle to shoot. Nah, brother, just hit it. Just let it go. Sometimes just shape to shoot. And he did that. He was like a centre back. He's like, this is how you do it, front three. This is how you do it. And they all respected it.
Right. As I said after the game on Mickey, Marlon, he's got a real appetite and determination to be the best he can be. It's a credit to him. We're not going to be the ones who put a limit on him and wouldn't let us even. I think it goes back to what TJ said there, is that the reality is that as a football club, I think we are going to have to deliver for him to keep him here, to keep him happy. Because you know, I think TJ summed it up perfectly. The likes of Sheringham, Berbatov, you know when you've got a special footballer amongst your group. And we've got a number of them, don't get me wrong, but there is something about Mickey that does really stand out. And by the fact, as I say, when you've got a player that has a real pivotal way to the way you play and is so integral to that, it again really does encompass just how important he is for the team. And look, it's not a question about can we keep him. Of course not at this stage, but the reality is we've got to deliver for him, Marlon, as much as he's delivering for us, right?
No, of course. And TJ mentioned something earlier about the Sonny video and mentioning Vertonghen on it. And I'm a massive fan of Vertonghen. But when I saw that video, I didn't look at Vertonghen like I used to look at him because Van der Ven has taken that place for me, right? He's the new love of my life when it comes to Spurs right now.
Love is a fickle thing, clearly.
Clearly, I've moved on. But in all seriousness, the way he plays, the way he's gracious, he's the speed, everything. But what I love more about him is that he's changed Romero. And we've actually got two very good centre-backs.
Great point. Yeah.
Right? We've got two cracking centre-backs. And this is why, when I said earlier about our defensive problems, I get all confused to why we're conceding this many goals. Because with Porro, Udogie, and Romero and Van der Ven, why are we conceding? But I know it's tactically. And that's why I'm in my head, I'm saying it's got to be tactically because I look at the performances of Romero in the last few months. And a lot of people, like at the beginning of the season, especially after that Chelsea game, a lot of people gave up on Romero. And I said, no, give it time, give it time. But since Van der Ven has come back, the two of them have been absolutely, they're reading of the game. Romero trusts him, you can see it. But Van der Ven's the same. You can see Van der Ven is a lot more comfortable when playing next to him.